Всем привет! Меня зовут Юля. Today we will talk about reflexive verbs. This is part number 2. In my previous video, we talked about personally directed reflexive verbs and learned how to conjugate them in present tense. So if you missed it, watch it. Today we will focus on reciprocal reflexive verbs. Взаимовозвратные глаголы. So, what is it? When we talked about personally directed reflexive verbs, we said that the action was directed to you, to yourself. It means that the object and the subject actually was one person. We use this group when we describe our daily routine. I wake up, I take a shower, etc. Reciprocal reflexive group involve two or more people. It means that the action is happening between several people. This action is not only you participate in this action, but some other people. In English, usually we translate it as each other, or we use preposition with someone, if we do something with someone. So firstly, let's have a look at some examples of these verbs. I will translate them to you and show what cases we can use afterwards. So the first one is обниматься. Обниматься means to hug. For example, мама с сыном обнимаются. Мама с сыном обнимаются. Very often with reciprocal reflexive verbs we use instrumental case. We use preposition с plus творительный падеж. Yes, in preposition with and instrumental case. Very, very often. We never use accusative case after reflexive verbs. Never. So some of these verbs actually can be non-reflexive, and then you need to use another case. So for example, as I said, обниматься, мама с сыном обнимаются. This is reflexive verb. Or you can say мама обнимает сына. You see, here I used normal verb, but then I used accusative case. Careful here, never accusative case after reflexive verbs. Целоваться. Например, пара целуется в парке. Или жена целует мужа. Pay attention what cases I use after each verb. Пара целуется в парке. It means that they kiss each other. The action is happening between actually two people. Or I can use the verb целовать and then I use accusative case. Жена целует мужа. Next one. Ссориться. Например, я часто ссорюсь с родителями. Я часто ссорюсь с родителями. In this case, if you remove ся, the meaning will be a little bit different. For example, я поссорила своих соседей. Я поссорила своих соседей. Here we use genitive case, and the meaning is that you were the reason of their fight. They had a fight because of you. So careful, the meaning is not always the same if it is reflexive or non-reflexive verb. Мириться. Мириться. For example, мы часто ссоримся, но потом миримся. Мы часто миримся после ссоры. Again, if you remove ся, the meaning will be slightly different. It means that you helped someone to make peace. For example, я помирила своих соседей. То есть я поссорила своих соседей и я помирила своих соседей. So I was the reason of their fight, but they made peace also because of me. So these two verbs they are slightly different. Советоваться. Я всегда советуюсь с мамой. Я всегда советуюсь с мамой. Я советую маме сходить в кино. Dative case. Я советую маме сходить в кино. Собираться. Собираться, it has two meanings. Meaning number one, it means that you are getting ready for something. For example, you are going on vacation or you are going to the party and you are getting ready. For example, я собираюсь на вечеринку. I'm getting ready. Я собираюсь на вечеринку. Meaning number two, it means gather together. For example, мы с друзьями часто собираемся вместе. Мы с друзьями часто собираемся вместе. It means that we gather together, I don't know, to have some fun. And pay attention in this sentence that I said мы с друзьями. So I put с друзьями next to the subject. This is how we say. Мы собираемся с друзьями. It's also possible, but I don't know, usually we say мы с друзьями собираемся вместе. Мама собирает сына в школу. Non-reflexive verb. Pay attention to the case that I used. Мама собирает сына в школу. Second group, second column, прощаться, здороваться. You can see that there is a exclamation mark here. It means that we don't use them without this ся. It can be only reflexive. Прощаться, здороваться. Я всегда прощаюсь и здороваюсь с друзьями. Я всегда прощаюсь и здороваюсь с друзьями. It can be only reflexive. Знакомиться. Я часто знакомлюсь с новыми людьми. Я часто знакомлюсь с новыми людьми. Я знакомлю мою сестру с мужем, с моим мужем. Я знакомлю свою сестру со своим мужем. Делиться. Я делюсь пиццей с сестрой. Я делюсь пиццей с сестрой. Я делю пиццу на 4 части. Я делю пиццу на 4 части. Here, pizza is the object, that's why I used accusative case. Фотографироваться. Я фотографируюсь с музеем. Я фотографируюсь с музеем. So actually, we can use these verbs not only with living objects but with non-living also. So the action can be between not only several people but also some non-living objects, like in this case the museum, non-living object. Я фотографируюсь с музеем. It means that in this picture there is me and the museum. Yeah, the action is between us two, but you can say я фотографирую музей. It means that it's just me who is taking a picture of the museum. There is no me in this picture, only the museum. So this is the difference. Я фотографируюсь с музеем. Me and the museum in the picture, and я фотографирую музей. In my picture only there is a museum, only the object, no me, unfortunately. And the last one, соревноваться. It can be also only reflexive one. Соревноваться. Например, я соревнуюсь со своей коллегой. Я соревнуюсь со своей коллегой. So this is just few examples of reciprocal reflexive verbs and how can we use them and with which cases. And as you noticed, I used present tense. Now let's learn how to conjugate them in the past tense. Really easy. For example, let's take the verb встречаться, meet up, встречаться. You know probably that when we are talking about past, the only thing that we need to pay attention to is gender. That's why I wrote down here on, она, они. So if you use, for example, я and you are a man, then you use masculine form. If you use я and you are female, you use она, feminine part. The same for ты as well. Ты masculine on, ты feminine, она. So let's go. Встречаться. So I divided this part т that we need to change. Он встречался, она встречалась, они встречались. So this т you change to l for masculine, lar for feminine, li for plural. Well, actually, like for normal verbs, for example, она читала, он читал, они читали. So I think these suffixes you know already pretty well. But ся for masculine, с for feminine, and с for plural. Here you just need to memorize. Он встречался, она встречалась, они встречались. So let's practice and let's conjugate these two verbs. For example, видеться means to see each other. Видеться. Он виделся. Она виделась. Они виделись. Very good. Он виделся, она виделась, они виделись. For example, вчера он виделся с друзьями. Вчера он виделся с друзьями. Reflexive. And you know that it can be non-reflexive one, but then I need to use another case. Вчера я видел своих друзей. Вчера я видел своих друзей. It means that I just saw my friends somewhere, I don't know, walking on the street. Or if you say вчера он виделся со своими друзьями, it means that they actually met. They, I don't know, had a chat, they talked, they did something together. The subject participated in the action. And one more example, ругаться. Ругаться means to quarrel. Actually, ругаться и ссориться, they are synonyms. Ругаться, I don't know where should I stand. Ругаться. So let's conjugate it in the past. Он ругался. Он ругался. Она ругалась. И они ругались. Very good. Perfect. Он ругался, она ругалась, они ругались. For example, вчера мои соседи ругались. Вчера мои соседи ругались. There was a fight between them. It can be also non-reflexive. Мама ругала сына. Мама ругала сына. Maybe he behaved badly, that's why she scolded him. So again, careful here, the meaning is slightly different when it is reflexive and non-reflexive verbs. Let me know if you have any questions and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss other videos. See you guys next time. Пока-пока.